Hello, hello. As I was sitting here reflecting about my week and reflecting my the clients that I've been working with and whatnot, I was noticing quite a few themes, and I wanted to hop on here and talk to you guys about them because what I find when I'm working with my clients and it's a mirror to what so many of us are experiencing, right? And so many of us right now, as part of the collective, are going through major transitions, right? Major transitions. And what the funny thing is, no one really talks about the transitions because I feel like so many of us shut down, right? Like we go into a hole and we hide within. And the thing about transition is that it's never going to be the same it's not going to look the same for any one person, right? Like your transition and what you're experiencing is going to look completely different than, the next person's transition and what they're experiencing. And so when I talk about the word transition, I mean major life changes. Major changes that are going to uproot you from what you're accustomed to and where you're at and putting you on the path of where you want to go. And so with transitioning from one phase to another, or one phase of your existence and your life and your path to another, you have to remember that you're going to be experiencing stretch. You're going to be stretching. You're going to be moving and bringing light into places and shadows within yourself that you probably haven't looked at for a long time, or maybe ever. And it can be scary, right? Like it can be so scary and uncomfortable, and really making yourself feel uncertain with every step you're taking. And so the reason why I wanted to hop on here again, guys, if you're tuning in live or you're catching the replay, is because in doing work with clients this week, I was noticing that so many of us are experiencing major periods of growth and transition, and it's going to stir up all kinds of emotion. It is. It's going to stir up all kinds of emotion. You are going to feel naked at times because you're stepping into this new way of existence and this new way of being and this new phase and chapter for yourself. So I just want to bring breath into those spaces for you and let you know that when you are feeling full of doubt and when you are feeling like the world is caving in on you and you don't know what to do, you just need to focus on your next small step. That's it. That's it. That's all you need to focus on. Because when you start to look at the big picture and you start to examine every aspect with a magnifying glass or a microscope. I almost just said a telescope. That ish would be like real up in your face. But a microscope or whatever it may be, you need to remember that the only thing that you need to focus on is what your next small step is going to be. Okay? And because the how is always going to be out of our control. Always. The how is never up to us. Like if you've ever watched any of my previous videos, content, whatever, like I've been at this for a while. If you've ever watched anything, you know, the how is never up to us. Ever. Ever, ever, ever. As much as we want to be in control, right? As much as we want to remain in control of what's happening, it's out of your control. So the how is never up to you. What you need to get clear on for your first step, your first small actionable step, is getting clear on the what and the why of what it is you're transitioning into, that next chapter that you're walking into. What do you want and why do you want it? Because then the rest will begin to fall into place once you begin to take that first actionable step. That's the snowball effect. That is what the universe, what source, what God, I'm non-denominational, so whatever you feel comfortable in using, that is what source is waiting for, is that step. Because when you remain in a period of void space and not making any movement or any action and just really hoping that things are going to change for you in whatever period you're in, whatever stage, element you're in, that's not giving the go ahead for the universe to help you and to bring in that energy that you're looking for. You have to be the one to take the action. But it can be overwhelming when we don't know where to start, right? So what I want to say to you is just really allow yourself the grace to be uncomfortable. Allow yourself the space to stretch. And it's going to be a roller coaster. It is. It's going to be a roller coaster. So there are going to be days where you are, feeling aligned and feeling amped and like ready to go and like, let's do this. And then there are going to be moments where you feel like darkness is surrounding you and you feel alone and you don't know where to turn and the anxiety is stealing your breath and you don't know what to do. You're immobile. So this is my message to you. This is the message that was coming through so clearly and when I was sitting and reflecting earlier, is all you need to do is focus on that first next step, okay? And it's okay to experience the breakdown because that means you are stretching. You have to move through that breakdown in order to get to the breakthrough, right? And so the breakdown is part of the process. The uncomfortability of it is part of that process. And so it's so important to honor anything and everything that comes up for you as you are experiencing this transitional phase for yourself. And the reason, again, if you're just hopping on here for the live, is because this was a common theme this week in working with my clients. And it came up in soul realignments, it came up in readings, it came in energy work, like it came up every single time I had a session this week. Transition is happening for so many of us, and it can be scary, but it doesn't have to be when you focus on your next step. And if that next step is taking a breath, if that next step is allowing yourself to just be for the day, then that's all that needs to happen. That's all that needs to happen. So if you yourself are going through a transition as well, feel free to drop down in the comments below what you are experiencing. Maybe you need help in figuring out what your next step is, but just know that you are not alone in this process. 11 and 11 people watching at the moment. Can't make this stuff up. If you are feeling lost and feeling like you don't know how to help yourself at the moment, you know that I'm always here and ready to support you. But I really hope that you were able to take something away from this message. If you know someone that is experiencing major transition, maybe you're not, but you know someone that is, feel free to tag them, share this video with them, and allow them to have this gift of breath, even if it's just for a moment. Sending you guys so much love. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll talk to you soon.